Now today we'll start coordinate bonding. Coordinate bond. Now coordinate bond is also called as semi-polar bond, also known as dative bond. It is also called as dative bond or semi-polar bond, we can say that. Clear? Now why it is semi-polar? Because you will find that properties of this particular compound formed lies in between the electrovalent and the covalent compound. Alright, lies in between the electrovalent and the covalent compound. Hence it is called a semi-polar bond. Correct? And dative bond means it is having directional. Of course, covalent bond is also directional. Here the directional means what you find is that, let me first tell you the definition, that coordinate bond is a special type of covalent bond. It is a bond formed when a pair of electrons is transferred from central atom to that of the surrounding atom, which is having deficiency of electrons, after the central atom has attained the octet structure. What I repeat, what I said you, that is coordinate bond is a special type of covalent bonding in which, that is, a pair of electrons, at least one pair of electrons, is being transferred from the central atom to the surrounding atom, which is having deficiency of electrons. Surrounding atom must have deficiency of electrons. But when the electrons will be transferred from the central atom to the surrounding atom, after the central atom has attained the octet structure, once the central atom attains the octet structure, then the pair of electrons will be transferred from the central atom to the surrounding atoms, which is having deficiency of electrons. Mind it. Central atom should have excess of electrons. How do you know it is excess? Once the central atom attains the octet structure, alright, then pair of electrons is left, alright, which does not participate in bond formation. That is called as lone pair of electrons. I have explained you earlier. And these lone pair of electrons is transferred from the central atom to that of the surrounding atom. Alright, clear, which is having deficiency of electrons. So remember it here, one pair of electrons, not a single electron. If it is single electron, then it's known as ionic bond, if it is transferred. But here a pair of electrons is transferred, and after the central atoms attained the octet structure, alright, then only the pair of electrons will be transferred. So hence that particular bond is known as dative bond, because we are showing the direction with the help of an arrow from the central atom to that of the surrounding atom. Alright, clear? And we consider that particular atom as a central atom, alright, which transfers lone pair of electrons to that of the surrounding atom. It does not mean any atom can be central atom. No, it's not that. Alright. Now let me just show you a particular, what you can say, bond formation of a particular molecule. Let me show you. See, it's a very simple one. H3O plus, which you know it is being called as hydronium ion. It is known as hydronium ion. Now how hydronium ion takes place? Generally the equation is in this way. H2O reacts with H plus to form H3O plus. Alright. So you know the shape of H2O now. Now don't draw the linear shape, because once you know the what you can say, the shape of the molecule, you draw according to the shape only. Alright. So far you are not knowing the shape, but now you have learned VSEPR theory, you know the shape. So hence try to draw the molecule according to the shape, desired shape, so that you remember the shape also in that particular manner. Alright, so here two lone pair of electrons is there, as you can see here. This is one lone pair and this is another lone pair of electrons is there. Alright, now this is H2O. Now one pair of electrons. So which pair of electron? Let us say this pair of electron, any pair of electron it goes. Alright, and hence what you get it. See the structure what is being formed. This is the structure formed here. Look here. So this is we can say H2O, and now this one pair of electron goes to H plus ion. So what it does, it forms H3O plus. It is H plus. H plus means having how many electrons? No electron is there. H is having one electron. H plus means already given. How H plus is being formed? H minus E minus, it gives you H plus, isn't it? H plus is being formed in this way. H loses an electron to form H plus. So how many electron H plus is having? Nothing. So it requires how many electrons to become stable? Two electrons. So hence a pair of electron goes, and in this way you are representing it. That is H3O plus ion. You can draw this one in this way also, you can draw it. It's better to draw in this way. because the shape actually changes. H3O plus, the shape is not this, of course, and hence I did not write that way. Got it? H3O plus, you know, you have read the shape. The shape is not this, of course, it is not bent. The shape changes. So in this way, what we find is that this is the formation of H3O plus ion. We consider that. Clear? Now, next, after that, we will see formation of some more molecule. We will see it like let us see the formation of, that is HClO4. Let us see the formation of HClO4. Now, hydrogen, you know, has got one electron in the outermost shell. Hydrogen, that is, if you want to write electronic configuration, you can write it down. Now, oxygen is 8, so 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So it has got 6 electrons in the outermost shell. You can see it. Now, chlorine is 17, so 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. 3s2 and 3p5. So chlorine has got 7 electrons in the outermost shell, as you can see. Chlorine has got 7 electrons. It has got 6, it has got 1, it has got 7 electrons in the outermost shell. Now, what I said you, the molecule, it is HClO4. Now, in case of HClO4, I have said you already that if a particular compound has got a central atom, got it? Apart from oxygen and hydrogen, got it? Along with oxygen and hydrogen, if central atom is there, then oxygen forms one bond with the central atom and another bond with hydrogen. As many hydrogen and oxygen will be there, that many bond formation will take place in this way. One bond of oxygen will be with the central atom and other bond will be with the hydrogen atom. So hence we will arrange in this manner: HOCl, O and O. Alright, clear? Now H is having 2 electrons, 1 electron from one oxygen and 1 electron from itself. Got it? So oxygen is having, you can say 6, in this way 6 electrons you can see. So this is the bond formation takes place. Now hydrogen is stable now. Hydrogen is stable. Now chlorine has got 7 electrons, isn't it? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and this is your 7. Let me put here. This is 7. Okay, chlorine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and this is 7. Now oxygen combines with chlorine. It shares with chlorine. Alright, now you can see oxygen is satisfied. How? Oxygen was having 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 electron from hydrogen, 1 electron from chlorine. 6 plus 2 it is 8. So oxygen is stable, hydrogen is stable. Now chlorine is also stable, you can see that. Chlorine was having 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1 electron from oxygen it borrows. Now it is what? Stable. Oxygen, chlorine is also 8. So automatically, you can see it, na? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So automatically 3 lone pairs are being created. See, 3 lone pairs is created. After the central atom attains octet structure, see, 3 lone pair is being created. You can see very clearly. So oxygen how many? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This oxygen also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you can see, this oxygen also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it gives one pair of electron to one oxygen, another pair to another oxygen and another pair to another oxygen. Done. Alright. After the central atom attains octet structure, you can see it. What I did, I gave one pair of electron. Now if it is HCl, it is HClO4. I have taken it. Suppose if it is HClO3, then HClO3 means this oxygen will not be there. So this pair of electron will remain as it is. Alright, this oxygen will not be there. So this pair of electron will remain as it is in this way. In this way, it remains as it is. Now it is HClO3, chloric acid. HClO4, what is that? Perchloric acid, we can say that. It will remain as it is, okay? So, but as it is HClO4, it is in this way, alright? So, in this way, you need to draw the diagram for coordinate bonding, so to say. Clear? Okay, fine. Now, next. After this, we'll see the properties. Already I said you that coordinate bond, you can see that its properties lies in between, that is ionic bonding as well as your covalent bonding. So it is called a semipolar bond. Now coordinate bond, what you find is that it is directional in nature. Coordinate bond is, it is both rigid also at the same time. So it is rigid as well as directional. So hence it shows isomerism. Coordinate bond. So coordinate bond for that reason shows isomers. We can say that it shows isomerism. Got it? Now, coordinate compounds undergo molecular reactions which are slow. Generally, covalent compound undergoes molecular reactions. Here, coordinate compounds also goes molecular reactions, but which are slow reactions, not so fast reactions. Listen carefully. Got it? Next, what you find is that that coordinate compounds, that is, they have got melting and boiling points higher than that of covalent compounds. Got it? But lower than that of ionic compounds. Higher than that of covalent compounds, but lower than that of ionic compounds. The melting and boiling points, you can say that. Got it, sir? You can see in this way. They are soluble in non-polar solvent. Basically, they are soluble in non-polar solvent, so to say. Some exceptions are there, of course. Apart from that, some exceptions are also being there. Alright, so in this way, you will find it out that these are the properties of the coordinate bonds, we can say that, or semipolar bond or the dative bond, the compounds showing this particular bond, we can say that. Clear? I hope you understood what is coordinate bonding. Now, coming to the next one, that is your hydrogen bond, we can say that. Coming to the next one is hydrogen bond. Now, what is hydrogen bond? Hydrogen bond is nothing but, let me rub the board first. What is that? So, that is nothing but, let me write the heading, hydrogen bonding. See, it is an electrostatic force of attraction between hydrogen atom. Alright, listen carefully. It is an electrostatic force of attraction between hydrogen atom and a more electronegative atom or group. Got it? And a more electronegative atom or group like nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine. Alright, within the same molecule or within different molecules of the same compound or of different compound. Again I repeat, it is an electrostatic force of attraction. First of all, it's an electrostatic force of attraction between hydrogen atom. Hydrogen bond means hydrogen atom should be there. Between hydrogen and oxygen, between hydrogen and nitrogen, between hydrogen and fluorine. Within the same molecule or different molecule. Within the same molecule it can be, or within different molecules it can be. Within the same compound or within different compounds also. Alright, within the same compound or of different compound. So it's an electrostatic force of attraction between hydrogen atom and a more electronegative atom. For that reason we are taking nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine, because you know that when you move from left to right across a period, electronegativity increases because atomic size decreases. So the second period, only these three elements, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine, they are having higher electronegativity. You will say other elements? Other elements means above which are not there, nothing. Above nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, no other elements are there. Below what you will find is that elements are there. But down the group, electronegativity decreases. Down the group, electronegativity decreases. What I said? It should be high electronegative. Alright. So hence, write down children. That is, there are two conditions for hydrogen bonding. What is that? That one of the condition is that the atomic size should be small. The atom attached to hydrogen atom should be small in size. Number one. The atom attached to hydrogen atom should be small in size. Number one. And second condition is that the atom attached to hydrogen atom should be highly electronegative in nature. The atom attached to hydrogen atom should be highly electronegative. So first condition is small size and second condition is highly electronegative. Highly electronegative. So hence which are the elements? It is nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine. These are the elements. Alright. So these elements is not only highly electronegative but also it is small size. So when it forms bond, alright, clear, within the same molecule or of different molecule, within the same compound or of different compound, alright, that is called as hydrogen bond, we can say that. It's an electrostatic force of attraction. Now, next is, so you got it, the conditions for hydrogen bonding. One of the atoms should be small in size, which should be attached to the hydrogen atom, and the atom which is attached to hydrogen atom should be highly electronegative. So these three elements satisfies the conditions, we can say that. Clear? I will come to the group later on. Later on I will come to the group. Alright, that I will see you later on after that. Now, next is, based upon this, we are having two types of hydrogen bond. What is that? One is your intermolecular hydrogen bonding, another is intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Inter and intra. Alright, now you might have heard the word inter and intra in your day-to-day life also. For example, you have heard it inter-school competition. Inter-school means what? Between two different schools. So intermolecular hydrogen bonding means what? Between two different molecules. Of the same kind or different kind? Alright, between two different molecules of the same kind or different kind. That is called intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Now let me make it much more clear to you. See here. Now HF. This is another HF. Now this is the intermolecular hydrogen bond. This one is intermolecular hydrogen bond. See here, the hydrogen bond is noted by dotted line. First of all, it is noted by dotted line, hydrogen bond. This is a covalent bond. Now it is two different molecules of what kind? Same kind. Two different molecules of the same kind. What I said, of the same kind or of different kind. Different kind means? Different kind I am saying. You see, for example, this is the formula of alcohol, ROH. General formula of alcohol, ROH. It can be C2H5OH, CH3OH, C3H7OH, whatever it is. Any alcohol. Now when alcohol is attached to water molecule, you know alcohols are generally soluble in water. Alcohol, they are generally soluble in water. They are polar in nature. So what you will find here, see, between oxygen and hydrogen, what type of bond it is? Intermolecular hydrogen bond. Are the same molecule? No, different molecule and different kind. They are different molecules of the same kind, but they are different molecules of different kind. In this way I said it. So intermolecular hydrogen bond takes place between two molecules of the same kind or of different kind. We can say that. Clear? And it is denoted by the dotted line in this way. So this is your intermolecular hydrogen bonding. This particular bond. This is known as intermolecular hydrogen bond. Inter, I said you, inter, between two different molecules. Intra means what? Within the same molecule. Like we say intra-class competition, intra-house competition. Intra-house means within the same house. Intra-class means within the same class. Alright, that is called as intra. Alright, now intramolecular hydrogen bond, for conditions for intramolecular hydrogen bond is that there should be at least 6 atoms must be present. The 6 atoms generally it is there in case of hydrogen, and it should be cyclic in nature. Alright, so cyclic, and this means it is nothing but is your aromatic compounds, we can say that, or alicyclic compound also can be possible. Either aromatic or alicyclic. Alright, now see here. We are having here OH. Alright, let me write this one. We are having here OH. So this is your phenol. Now here NO2 group is attached. NO2 group. See here, this is coordinate bond. Just now I taught you. So between this hydrogen and oxygen, alright, the bond which is there, this is known as what? Intramolecular hydrogen bond, because it is within the same molecule only. Within the same molecule it is. I said, you know, within the same molecule or different molecule. Alright, or within the same compound or different compound. So within the same molecule, within the same compound, it is there. So within the same molecule and within the same compound, if the bond is there, that is called as intramolecular hydrogen bond. I said you intramolecular hydrogen bond, the conditions. There should be at least 6 atoms of carbon must be there, and it should be planar in nature. We can say that. Sorry, cyclic in nature. We can say that. Yeah. So this one, aromatic compound or alicyclic compound, it should be. Alright. So that only we can find it out. So it is known as intramolecular hydrogen bond. So this is also called as chelation. This is known as CHELATION. That is chelation. Intramolecular hydrogen bond is otherwise also called as chelation. We can say that. Clear? Fine. So in this way, you learned it about inter and intramolecular hydrogen bond. So intermolecular hydrogen bond takes place in this way, HF and HF. For example, suppose between ammonia and ammonia. See here, ammonia is what? Pyramidal. See here, ammonia is pyramidal. So this is ammonia molecule. This is one ammonia molecule. Similarly, there is another ammonia molecule which is attached to it. See here, by intermolecular hydrogen bond. See here, you will say here it is not there. Of course, here it will be there. Here also it will be there, another ammonia molecule by intermolecular hydrogen bond in this way. Between ammonia and water, it can be between water also. For example, ammonia and water, we can say that. For like this one, this is attached to in this way, water. So this is also intermolecular hydrogen bond, we can say that. This is intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Okay, so in this way, this is intermolecular hydrogen bond. Fine. Now, between water and water also, we can have intermolecular hydrogen bonding between water and water. See here, water molecule. See, this is water molecule in this way. This is water molecule. This is joined together by intermolecular. Here also we can have. So, it is water molecule in this way. We can't have more than this. Clear? Because lone pair is there, in that place I have done it this one. Clear? maximum 4 bonds, na? We can't have more than that, isn't it? You can't say, sir, I will do it from one from here, one from here. No, it's not in that way. So in this way, this is your intermolecular hydrogen bond between the water molecule, we can say that. So between water it exists, between water ammonia it exists, between HF it exists, between ammonia it exists in this way, any kind of. Alright, but there should be nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine atom must be there. Because they are small in size and they are highly electronegative. That condition has to be fulfilled, we can say that. Okay, thank you.